Hey, what's up, team? It's Sherman here from Geek Psychology. This video is on the Methodical Guardian and 3 lessons that you can learn from introverted sensing. It's technically called introverted sensing. I've gone through some of the different abilities and introverted sensing in general before, but I'm going to be talking more about it in terms of the archetype that is the Methodical Guardian, the tank class. And I'll talk about 3 different abilities, and those abilities are actually, I feel, different techniques that introverted sensing, the Guardian, applies to a lot of situations. And wherever introverted sensing is within your stack, within your mental wiring, it might not be, if you're an ENTJ, let's say that, then you don't have introverted sensing within the top 4 functions. But that doesn't mean that it's not impactful in your life and in your daily quests throughout life. Because there are other ways that it does come out and it influences you. And I feel that if you could just take some lessons, if we could all just take some lessons from all of these classes, we would be better people and we would make the world a better place. Fair enough? So let's first of all just talk about this Methodical Guardian. I call it the tough hero. It's another name for it. I got tons of names for it. Just like pulling names out every day. But I'm trying to stick with Methodical Guardian and the tough hero. It's kind of like Constitution-based hero. If you are this type, your main drive is to build and maintain a stable world by conserving and using the lessons from the past. So it's looking into the past, trying to see how it worked before and how you could apply that to the present to make things a little bit more realistic and practical, I suppose. So this is the voice within you that likes to stick with what works. It doesn't want to reinvent the wheel. It doesn't want to just create things for the sake of creation. It has specific purposes for using what has worked in the past and bringing it into what's happening now in the present world, and it's going to keep doing that in order to make sure that things don't sneak up on you and aren't chaotic, so that you can expect what is going to happen. This archetype is likely something that you prefer. This character is likely one of the characters within your stack if you are very grounded. You can think of yourself as like the element rock or ground, earth, and you carefully review and recall the past. And you do this in order to maintain order and invest in that stability that I've talked about. So put all that together and you get the kind of behaviors of the Methodical Guardian, the tank class. Invested in practicality, in stability, in moving forward, not just running out like guns blazing, but taking the proper steps, doing what you should do because that's what you should do. It's not necessarily based on what is right in terms of emotions or proper morals or something like that. It's more of like, this is how you should interact with the world. It's common sense. So this is what I'm going to bring into this picture. I'm going to raise my shield when somebody attacks at me. Or I could dodge, but generally bring up that shield and retaliate. So let's talk a little bit about 3 abilities that the Methodical Guardian uses that I feel we can all bring into our lives to make things a little bit more smoother and a little bit more stable. So first up is battle training. You've trained hard and learned from the past. Practice, specialization, and experience. These are the keys for introverted sensing, for the Methodical Guardian. It's like you always take a little bit less damage. You take 1 less damage from everything because you've practiced, you've specialized, you've been through this. You've trained your butt off to make sure that you know what to expect and how to react to it. And this is not always necessarily your past. This is looking up to mentors or authority in some way and seeing how they've dealt with this before, and then how you can incorporate that into your style and do things a little bit better. Through constant repetition, they solidify the wiring, and then that makes things flow faster, and they actually get into flow states quicker, a little bit better than other types. So it's like, I'm going to practice swinging the sword again and again and again and again and again until it's just burnt in there and you do it right every time. And I feel that this is something that we can learn from the Methodical Guardian. Like, when something is important, practice it, specialize in it, do it right, you will get better at it, and then it'll become second nature, and then you can be the best around. And ability number 2, Shield Wall. Raise your shield and defend against damage. Pretty standard ability right there for tanks. But basically it's digging your heels in and bracing yourself for hardships. So it's like making attempts against you a lot more difficult. You've raised your armor, raised your shield, and you're ready to just take the damage that's going to come and deal with it. And I feel that the Guardians do have a very good ability at dealing with this. I've seen it through my life with my father and my friends. Like, when bad things happen, they're able to just like stabilize themselves and raise that shield wall and push forward, push through, and do the right thing despite the outer pressure and the chaos that's happening around them. So that's ability number 2. Ability number 3, Stabilize. I just said the word stabilize, but that's okay. This is taking a deep breath, just gathering yourself, and I feel it's kind of going into your past and thinking there's got to be a way to get through this. And so you can see right here the dynamic of introverted sensing and extroverted intuition a little bit, because it's going into your past, seeing all these static memories, these different points, these different data points, experiences, and branching out a little bit from there to see different possibilities to get through the situation. But I feel that the Methodical Guardian is more likely to stick with the past, look into their past, find these different experiences, and then utilize those to get through the situation, to stabilize it, to find a way for other people to be okay with it as well. It's kind of like you heal yourself just a little bit by just stopping, breathing, taking it in, being like, okay, I know how to deal with this. I've dealt with this before. Let's go. So that is the 3 abilities of 6 actually that I've listed out, and I really feel that we can all embrace this. We can all learn a lot from introverted sensors, because if it weren't for the Methodical Guardian, things would be so chaotic. It would be awful. Like, you wouldn't know what is going to happen next in any situation. You need somebody who is able to prepare things meticulously and be the ones out in the front taking the damage. And thank you very much for doing the work that a lot of us struggle to do. So that is the end of this video. I hope it was helpful. If you have other ideas for abilities, anything I said that rang true, please comment down below. Please like, share, subscribe, do all that stuff. Thank you very much, patrons, for contributing every month. It means a lot to me. It's very helpful. And keep up the lifelong questing. Good luck, have fun. Peace.